a comic.
Being a comedian means you are an editor or like a collage artist, and sometimes that like this one piece is going to be a big part of your collage, and then over time you're like, you know what, I'm going to cover this piece and this piece, and then there might not be as much of that. You know what I mean? Like over time, you're fucking remixing everything, and you're curating a collection of stories that you're telling people,
right?
And so therefore, they're not all bangers, and they're not all. Maybe the time isn't right on it.
Today we talk about. Let's see. So, hopefully these carried over. Nope, doesn't look like it did. So let me think, man. I know I wrote down some stuff recently, or actually, I was on my arm and then I just took a shower. Okay, how about this? So there's this story I'm trying to tell, and I'm trying to find a way to make it funny. And it basically, the premise is, I fucking hate haircuts. And have you ever gone to get a haircut and then suddenly find yourself being scared you're going to get busted for a drug bust? That's kind of the idea. And it's all
because of your haircut.
So that's the thing. I feel like by introducing that little nugget, it piques your interest to want to listen to the story.
Yeah.
And hopefully even just laugh at that ridiculous statement, but so far it hasn't really worked all that well.
Okay.
And the idea is it's all based on this true story where I had this barber, and no one can really cut my hair well. So I've gone to like countless different barbers growing up, to the point where I just fucking hate getting haircuts because it's always fucked up, and I'm like too shy to be like, no, you should fix that. I'm always just like, no, it's fine, and then I just leave, right?
Dude, we have the same hair, and so similar, quite similar.
Yeah.
Mine's gonna get curly when it's a little longer and it curls, but it's super thick, super brushy, hair brushy.
Yeah, no one can cut it.
I cut my own hair too.
Oh, really?
I don't trust anyone to cut my hair,
Gotcha.
because so many times I'll get a fucked up haircut, and then I have to be like, thank you, and just take it. You got to take the L because I don't want the confrontation.
Exactly. So now I find a barber finally who can cut my hair decently. And then we kind of lose him from what I had heard rumored was drugs. Like he just got hooked on painkillers because he had a bad back or whatever. And then I just stopped hearing from him.
Opium epidemic.
Yeah, I just stopped hearing from him. So I'm trying to relay that back to the main part of the story, which is the drug bust part, which now that was a while back. Now I'm searching for a new barber again after I just found one that really could do a good job and was a super cool guy, got along with him decently. But then I stopped hearing from him in text, and I heard through the rumor mill that, he'd been hooked on painkillers and stuff like that. Now, fast forward, I find this new barber, also a nice guy, cuts pretty good. And then two cuts in with this guy, he just suddenly hits me up for money. He's like, oh, dude, my car got towed and blah, blah, blah. I know you're a doctor. You mind if I, borrow like $60? And then I go to give him $60. He's like, oh, actually, I need another 80 on top of it.
Oh, it's a crackhead.
So, well, here's the thing. So $140 now, right? Now,
no, but just the fact that he changed the number, like that's drug addict.
Is
behavior.
that?
That's
okay.
drug addict behavior.
Maybe.
Because it's like he's got you on the hook for 60, and he's like, oh, I need another 80.
Okay. See, which is news to me because like I don't come from that world, so I don't even fucking know what's going on. All I know is I almost feel obligated to give him this money because
fuck him. No, he's never gonna give it back. But
punchline or spoiler alert, he never paid me back. So now I'm just like, dude, what the fuck? So, but part of the joke I'm trying to convey is like the fact that I felt so obligated to give it to him because I didn't want to make it awkward with a guy that I finally found that can cut my hair right. Yeah. So I'm like trying to not sour this relationship. Now that doesn't sound funny, but I'm trying to find a way to make it funny. Now, the other part of this story is this part I found a nugget of humor in, which is, instead of having him pay me back in cash, I was like, dude, how about this? How about I just fucking come in every couple months or every month or so, and you give me a free haircut until we're paid up.
Yeah, you bought yourself like 2 years of haircuts, as far as I'm concerned.
So he actually agreed to it. So now I'm coming in, I'm getting free cuts.
Hell yeah.
And then the funny line I came up with for it was, it's kind of weird though, because like usually the loan shark is the one pointing sharp objects at your head, right? But in this case, it's reversed. So I've had it gotten a chuckle or two once, but last night I tried it, didn't get jack shit.
I don't know if it works. It's too long. It's not going to work as a story.
Yeah, well,
there's only one joke in there.
That's the thing. So I got to find lines of this to add to like keep it
just
waving.
Yeah, like my barber wanted to borrow money from me, and I gave it to him, and in return, I'm getting free haircuts because he can't pay me back. But in this, you know what I mean? Like usually if someone couldn't pay me back, I would hold a razor to their neck.
Right.
But he's doing it to me now. Yeah. I don't know.
Now the story continues where he 2 cuts into this
Agreement?
payback program we have going on. He asked for a ride home. Right. And again, this is also news to me because I never get rides home from people. I have my own car and I don't have a lot of friends.
You for a ride?
He asked me for a ride.
Okay.
And so I'm like, yeah, sure, if it's on my way. You know, again, I don't want to sour this relationship, especially after this awkwardness of we have to set up this new thing because I feel dicked over because you're not going to pay me back.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is he's a nice guy. I feel like he's not even doing it maliciously.
Yeah.
Or if he is, he's a master con artist because, like, he got me good. But in my head, it just...
What happened on the ride?
So I'll tell you in a sec. But, like, just to put you in the perspective of who this kid was, like, it just seemed like it coming from such an innocent place. Like, consequences didn't occur to him. Like, it just didn't exist in his world. And then maybe that's why he's a fucking barber and not something else. You know? So that's... because he's the nicest guy.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel... like he's trying to con me, you know what I mean? Right. And it's not like he ever asked for money again or stuff like that. There's
a lot of well-meaning drug addicts and, you know what I mean? There's a lot of people that have good intentions, but will totally fuck you over.
Right. So now
personal.
Yeah. So fast forward to the car ride. Now, the joke I came up for this that someone else told me because they were giving a lot of rides to people. I don't typically give rides to people because I don't have that many friends. Let alone ones without cars. So he said, dude, it's never on your way. They always say it's on your way, but it's never on your way. So I started to work that into the joke where I was like, he asked for a ride. He said it was on his way. It's never on the way. Right, folks? And then I continue it by saying, and back to the real story. So we're driving. He's just talking, charming his way into just talking me.
What is he telling you like a sob story?
No, we're just talking.
Okay.
And next thing I know, we're way past where he suggested we were headed. And next thing I know, I find myself in the projects. And not only am I...
Oh, buddy.
Yeah, and not only am I not dropping him off, he's like, yo, can you just wait here a second? And then he goes into this dilapidated house.
Nah, dog.
And now I'm just sitting there like, did I just get conned into fucking sitting here while this guy's doing God knows what? And then this is where that line comes back full circle where it's like, you ever gone to get a haircut and then find yourself scared you're going to get busted for a drug raid or something? That's where that came in because I started suddenly putting it together like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And then I texted him. I sat there at least 6-8 minutes like an idiot and until I was just like, what is going on here? I thought maybe he was going, because I'm always looking for like the positive in a situation. So I'm assuming he's gone in there to like pick up something. I don't know. I don't fucking know like what I was thinking.
What if you say something like, you ever gone in for a haircut and end up being the getaway driver? Something like that?
That's actually punchier. That's punchier.
So does he come back?
So he comes back after I call him like, dude, I can't fucking wait here. Like, what are we doing? Why am I spending my free time doing this shit for you? You owe me money. Yeah. What am I doing is giving you my fucking time here. Let alone for God knows what you're doing in there. And then he comes back out and then, oh yeah, sorry, man. I don't know. I don't know what happened.
Was he high?
He didn't seem different than when he walked in.
Okay.
So I don't know if he was just selling. I don't know.
No excuse. He couldn't tell.
He didn't even tell me what he was doing.
Anything.
But to be honest, I don't even know if I asked because I was so fuming mad. I was like, dude, what the fuck are we even doing here?
Yeah.
And so I get back in the car, and here's the best part. He just goes, so yeah, now that I'm back, do you mind just dropping me back off at the barbershop? I was like, dude, I'm dropping you off at the closest Sunoco, and I'm getting the fuck out of here. Find you, and that was it.
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
Good for you. So I assume, are you gonna go back to him?
No, I moved.
You moved.
And I think I actually got.
It's funny if you moved because of that. You're like, it's too awkward now. I can't even.
I actually went back because again, I want my fucking money back.
Yeah.
And it's not like I need the money. It's just like I don't want to feel like the fucking douche.
Fuck that. Yeah.
That you took advantage of. Like, fuck you, dude. Because I would never do that to somebody. I would never. The minute I borrow, and it has happened literally maybe a handful of times or less, where I needed money from someone.
Yeah.
In the short term because like I was just waiting on a check or something.
Sure.
And this was well before I was making as much as I am now. But I'm just saying like in those few circumstances where I owed someone $1, $5, in some rare cases $2,000. And those are probably all three examples of when I borrowed money from someone. In my mind, every day there's a nuisance of a thought that goes, pay that fucker back, pay that fucker back, pay that fucker back.
Until you're out from under it, it's a pain in the ass. Yeah.
You know. So anyway, I actually did go back to him for like 3-4 more cuts, I think. And then actually I stopped hearing from him maybe one or two haircuts before we were totally paid up. So, better than nothing, I guess. But
you know what? you know what's interesting to me about that? I put myself in your position just now, and I was like, if that guy, hold on, if I lent that guy all this money and now I'm getting free haircuts from him, and this is like the fourth or the fifth one, I would, in my mind, I'd be like, this guy is over it. Like, he doesn't, he's mad at me now because he has to keep cutting my hair. And I was like, I'd be like, fucking up my hair. I wouldn't be able to enjoy the haircut anymore.
Someone suggested that as a funny thing, but I don't know how to like articulate that into something funny for the stage.
Just the anxiety of like, he doesn't want to be doing this. You know what I mean? Like I've had so many situations where there's just an awkwardness, and I'm just like sitting in it, and I'm like, oh, this sucks. Yeah. And you just want to disappear.
Right. No, I get the sentiment, but I just don't know how I would say that on stage funny.
Oh, what about this? What about this? So he cut, we're halfway through the haircut. Like, so let's say half my hair is cut and half the side is shaved. This side's all mangy still. Nothing, no line here, perfectly crisp here. And he goes, all right, I'm all paid up. This is physical funny. It's not really, maybe it's not stand-up funny, but it's something.
Yeah. So I actually told another barber this story, and he had a great, what I thought would potentially be a good punchline, which is to basically what I'm trying to say is anything for a haircut, right?
Anything for a haircut.
Because the whole story generated from this world where like I can't find someone to cut my hair. Now I finally have someone, and it's like almost like an abusive love-hate relationship where like I need you, but you're a piece of garbage to me.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like that. So again, like the funny idea nuggets are there. It's just like, how do you now take all these, put them in the washing machine, and have it come out as one big piece of laugh?
It might be a analogy type situation. Maybe something else happens in your life, and you're like, "This is just like the haircut guy." You know what I mean? So it might just have to strike you.
Yeah.
I know what you mean, man. I think every comic has like a handful of like loose ends in his bag.
Yeah.
He's just carrying around, and he's like, "What the fuck do I do with this?"
Right. Oh, actually, let me give you another one. This one's a little bit more ready. So the basic idea is like how doctors are fucking retards, and they always have been. And every decade that new stuff comes out, we look back at the previous generation of doctors like, you guys were fucking retarded. And one example is like back in like 1800s, when doctors would be prescribing specific cigarette brands for asthma, right?
That's hilarious.
Right? So now I'm thinking, I was trying to create the joke in more of the premise of back when bloodletting was a thing. You know what bloodletting is? So bloodletting is when you nick someone and basically drain them of their blood because you're trying to drain them of their evil toxins or whatever. And exactly. And what a retarded idea. Am I right, folks? But I'm thinking I know how it came to be and was thought of as a smart idea at the time, because that doctor must have had a real beautiful, lovely, caring wife who every month when she bled out, she became she would be cunty as fuck before the blood, and then after the blood leaked out, she was such a joy to be around again. So that's kind of like the idea I'm trying to convey, but it's rough, right? Especially for a female crowd. So it's like, how do you, so basically I need to find a way to establish that this woman, this wife of this doctor who discovered this bloodletting technique, is a wonderful woman, but for some reason, once a month, she has these evil spirits. And as soon as some blood drains out of her, those evil spirits suddenly go away. So this guy must have been like, Eureka, I'm just going to do this to everybody.
I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, if I should say, yeah, man, keep going. There's something there. Or I want to say, like, maybe you should, like, cut that joke and let it bleed out of you. But yeah, I don't know. It's
that could be a good tag for, like, if that joke utterly bombs, then you could be like, all right, well, folks, well, I guess I'll be bleeding myself later. I'll be cutting myself later, and hopefully enough blood comes out that I forget that joke.
Out of my body.
Yeah, right. But yeah, no, I mean, there's definitely something there. It's just like, as a guy, maybe I just can't say it because I'm a guy. But maybe if I was a female comic,
being
I could.
A comedian means you are an editor or like a collage artist, and sometimes that like this one piece is going to be a big part of your collage, and then over time you're like, you know what, I'm going to cover this piece and this piece, and then there might not be as much of that. You know what I mean? Like over time, you're fucking remixing everything, and you're curating a collection of stories that you're telling people.
Right.
And so therefore they're not all bangers, and they're not all, maybe the time isn't right on it. Some ideas, they just like the haircut thing. That's, dude, first of all, there's an episode of Atlanta where the guy gets a haircut and the guy's like, I need you to give me a ride somewhere. And it's very similar. I'm not saying you took the idea. I'm just saying, like, my mind was like, oh, dude, I've seen this somewhere. Like, this is a thing. Like, there's like hustler barbers that are like, oh, while I got you in my chair, maybe I could sell you on these medicine pills I got, or you know, maybe I got.
That's the thing. It wasn't even a schemy thing. Maybe that's part of it. I got to explain to the audience.
There's a lot of guys that are like, they cut hair, but like what they really want to be is producers. You know, they really got hip hop beats. So, you know what I mean? They're hustlers, like, and maybe not even a bad way, but they're guys on the move, and they make a lot of friends, and they're dealing with cash all the time. And maybe some guys, you know, like, it's the hood, man. Everyone's trying to fucking come up with some money. You know? So I feel like the barber guys are fast talking motherfuckers. They could, you know what I mean? They could sell water to a whale, as it were. So I feel like that's something. Yeah. I mean, you know,
I keep hacking away at it.
We gotta get that. We gotta keep clipping away at him. You gotta get him on the podcast. To repay the ultimate debt.
Yeah, fuck that. Anyway, so I just want to say thanks for coming back, man. This was fun.
Sadra, you're the man. I'm happy for you. I hope that we can keep you in the game, man. You know, you got to keep going. It is a desert, and you're on the path, and. So I got this joke about suicide that I'll tell you real quick, and I've been running it at Mike's, and it's a little bit like 2019. We all have suicide jokes, like, enough already. But you know, do you know what happens when you run your suicide joke 4 times a day? It gets better.
I don't get it.
There's this whole thing of like teens that are growing up with sexual confusion.
Okay.
There's the whole movement of it gets better. Don't kill yourself.
Right.
So.
But why would telling a suicide joke multiple times
because the joke
lead
gets
to
better.
The joke gets better.
And you don't. I thought it did well at the mic.
Oh, did it? Right. Well, maybe I'm not suicidal enough.
I don't want to end up with you, but that's all I got.
No, it's fine. Don't use me as your metric, because again, I'm listening to so much comedy. Sometimes I'm just making it too complicated for myself.
No, it's all good, man. Yeah. It's humor is an elusive beast that we are trying to lure out of its cage and then tame. And so it's no surprise that most people that make it have at least 15 years in the game. And can you imagine doing this for 15 years?
Dude, let's see. In 15 years, I will be 47. 47-year-old me standing up on that stage.
Yeah. And we'll be on episode 4007 of the podcast.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a scary thing to think about. 47 years old, still holding a microphone.
Spend your life how you want to do it. I'm 38, and I kind of feel like I'm just really doing me for the first time. Like I'm trying to be authentic.
Right. No, I've definitely felt more of that than ever in the past year, becoming more myself. But maybe I just hold myself to just a very impossible standard. Like, I want to be the next Louis, Chappelle, Bill Burr, whatever. But like, there's only a handful of those guys, and there's literally thousands of us motherfuckers walking these streets. We're all not going to become that. Yeah. So
I think it hurts because it's hard.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean? No, it's right. That's what it is.
But if you can only get better, if you keep going, you're going to get funny.
True.
And you're going to get more opportunities. I want you to come do my show when.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think. Tuesday, I'm here. Yeah, I'm here Monday and Tuesday. We'll talk. Actually, plug your stuff again.
Okay, Camden Polio, Killer Camden 33 on Instagram. No Fun Bar, 161 Ludlow Street in the Lower East Side. Monday nights 10:30, Tuesday nights 9 p.m. And I wait tables at Veselka if you want to get a pierogi.
Hey. Nice. Yeah. Thanks for coming, man. And we'll see you around.
Holla.
Peace.